Okay, 1 second. I'm waiting to get the notification.
Okay.
Oh, we're not live.
Okay, we're about to go live. I was just making sure I was getting a notification. Okay, 1 second.
Josh, can you see Jabril good?
Ma'am?
Can you see Jabril here good?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, boom. We're live. Okay, we're live. All right, excellent. I want to.
How are you?
Okay, everybody's on. All right, I want to thank everyone for watching a special edition of Off the Record this evening. We have a great couple from Chicago who is a great example of love and dedication. They are parents and grandparents and believers and just have a great spirit. I want to thank Brother Jabril and Sister Shawn for coming on this evening.
Thank you so much for having us, Brother Joshua. It's an honor.
It's an honor.
Praise be to Allah. Yes. Okay, my sister Miriam, Mimi says assalamu alaikum. Sister Naima says assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for watching.
You all.
Okay, the first.
You all are on. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. The first question I have is, who made the first move to let one of you all know that you all liked each other?
I believe I was.
Okay.
I was, just because she was a little bit reluctant to meet me. She was kind of reserved, meeting an absolute stranger. And just to get through that acquaintance part, to just to say hi and exchange a couple of words to kind of break the ice. That was a very difficult moment when we met. And then, Shawn wasn't that person that was just so open to trust somebody that just to come up to her and speak to her and then try to mac to her. I was trying to lay it on thick.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, I put up her guards, man. But after a while, we had some conversations by phone and, kind of filled one another out. And it kind of broke the ice and she kind of opened up a bit and we got to start, our communication and, establish commonality.
Okay, excellent. And Sister Shawn, what was it about Brother Jabril that made you put your guard down and allow him to pursue you?
Well, when I first met him, we were both going in the store, and so when I met him, we had really good conversation from the beginning, and especially when he told me that he was teaching, at city colleges, and he was a calculus teacher. I was interested in that. And so I kind of knew from the beginning, he really made me feel comfortable. He seemed to be very easy to talk to. And we didn't talk right away. I guess I waited for about almost a week, and then he asked me to call him. I definitely wasn't going to give him my number, but I called him after about a week, and then we really talked a whole lot. Communication was so important in the beginning, and after we met, by the time I let him meet my mom, I had told her this is my future husband. Introduced him to my family as my future husband. And that took about 3-4 months. But I kind of knew. We were both looking for, a soulmate, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Now, Brother Jabril, what was it about her to let you know that she was your soulmate?
That's a great question. She was Josh. She was totally different. She was covered. I didn't see the outward figure. She didn't have on revealing clothes. In fact, Josh, she was an MG before I was an FOI. That attraction, seeing something different, and how she handled me, and how she called me brother. And here it is again, Josh. I'm trying to match, and she's calling me her brother. And I had to switch my mindset, really.
Yes, sir.
And so I knew she was the one for me because what she was educating me, and she was telling me a lot of things about Islam. And in fact, she told me that I couldn't have her unless I was an FOI. And I said, what the hell is an FOI? Because I was really oblivious to it all.
Yes, sir.
She explained, and I found myself I went over to the mosque some 30 years ago,
Mm.
And I was seeing the brother speak at that time. We were having meetings at 2:00, remember?
Mm.
And so I went over to the mosque, but I went over looking for her. But we didn't sit together. And so I'm scouring the audience trying to hey Josh, you know what happened? The word hit me, man. And it kind of changed my whole perspective about who I am, who she was, what this thing is really all about, and I wanted to learn more. So I really wasn't, although I was coming back to see her, but the word was attracting me back. And so I'm so thankful that Allah turned merciful to me through my wife. And it was something embedded deep down in me that needed to come out. And Allah saw fit for me to meet this beautiful sister who I fell in love with, who I knew was the one for me. And I wanted to do anything within my means and above to really make this happen with her. So I knew that she was the one for me. And I was ready to get married.
Okay, yes, sir. Wonderful. Yes. All right. Well, which one of you all said I love you first?
Me.
Okay.
hey, Josh, it's like this. The power of a woman is so great. A man can be driving his car down the street, right?
Yes,
and if he see a beautiful woman, guess what he gonna do, Josh? We know what he's gonna do.
Exactly.
So she had that attractive force, you know, that beauty, and she still is radiant to me. And it really made it so easy for me to kind of self-indulge my emotions and my thoughts and think them into her and wanted to, you know, be all about this love and this relationship. So I think that I said that I love you first. And now when it comes down to understanding what love is and duty, I know I did it first. And I'm glad I did.
Wonderful. Okay. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And Sister Shauna, how did you know that you loved Brother Jabril?
I knew I loved Brother Jabril because I had can I tell you the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
When I had a child when I met my husband. My son was a year and a half. And so I actually met a brother in the nation that I had a baby with. And so I talked to a lot of sisters about this because the many of sisters we have, we're going, a lot of sisters going through this right now. So I tell them my truth. I had a baby and I moved to Texas and I realized right away, this was not the brother for me. So I came back home and I was really saddened by that because I thought I'd never be one of the statistics,
Yes, ma'am.
So I ended up coming back home, but then I got very disciplined. I got really focused, by me being so new in the nation myself. I had gotten a baby, so I knew I was out of order. So at that point, I had to get focused. I had to become much more disciplined. I had to really put these words, apply these teachings to my life. So
yes,
I had 3 stipulations. That's all for a man, for a brother. So I asked Allah to send me a God-fearing man, one that is a father figure, and I said just one that would at least listen to Minister Farrakhan. And so my husband came to me, and these were just the 3 stipulations that he was very adamant about. So I began real soon after he came out, and I invited him out, and he started coming out to the nation, and then, we had so many conversations. Me and Jabril and I'm the one who laughed at his corny jokes. But anyway, we talk all the time. And I think that is really, really key to a good marriage or a good relationship. A lot of communication, honest communication. So, we used to always have these honest Tuesdays. I even raised my children in that way. On Tuesday, we would have honest conversation. So it was like no right or wrong. So I had to hear their conversation. I had to hear what they felt about us. And so we had to listen. So that is one thing that kept us going as a family. We had honest days and so forth and so on.
And by the way, Josh, I'm her fish.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, wonderful. Brother Jabril, how did you propose?
Um, I told her that Josh. I told her that she was all the qualities that I was looking for in a woman, and she reminded me so much of my sisters. I got 9 sisters, and my mom, and so there was so many similarities there, and it was easy for me to to fall in love with her. And at a point, I had told you that I was at that point I was looking for a wife because I had lived the bachelor life and I wanted a family. And when I met her, it was so easy for me to really have this affinity or this attraction to her. And plus, it was a very new experience for me because I never met, a woman that had this wisdom and this knowledge uh, pertaining to the nation of Islam. And so it was very easy for me to fall in love with her. And then when I asked her, I think I asked her just straight out, I would love and I would be honored to not only provide for you and care for you, but I want to be your soulmate and I wanted to make it happen because I'm in love with you and I want you. And you want me back. That was pretty much it. And I was really sincere. I didn't get down on one knee. But Josh, she saw the seriousness in your brother. And I told her that no matter what, we're gonna make this work because there's no such thing as coincidence. She wanted to fulfill those 3 stipulations that she asked for in a man, and it just so happened that I come from a family that my uncles and cousins, they were all preachers, so I was in the church, but I hurry up and left the church to come and see her at the bar. Right, and never went back, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I felt her in my heart, man, and it's still that way the same till this day.
Praise be to Allah. Okay. Well, what do you all do for fun to keep like your marriage like this, like keep it young and keep it youthful? Like, what do you all do together?
Well, I do a lot of spontaneous things. These are the things that I like. I'll set us a date. We'll go on a date. We go to the spas. Jabril and I, we love to take long walks. We just go over by the water and walk. It's not a lot. What I don't like is to do extravagant things a lot of times. Jabril is a very simple man. Sometimes I just cook him a really good meal that he likes, So we do things like that. We go, we love, once again, we love long walks. And like even this Saturday, we're going on a cruise. So we'll get up and go. I love to do things with the sisterhood, but for balance, I always do something with my husband. And so we'll talk about what we want to do. And so whatever it is, I'll make the plans. He's never been a guy that does a lot of spontaneous things, but I like to do it. So I'm the one who do a lot of the planning.
You forgot to mention camping.
Oh, we like to camp too. Every year we camp. We just came back and we had a wonderful time camping.
Okay. Wonderful.
I wish you could come down here one year.
Yes, man. I saw the pictures. They looked amazing.
Yes. And I love the off the record conversations we have around the campfire. Sure. We had the s'mores and we just talked about real good things about the nation. And then I listened to the young people because, quote unquote, I say it's your world. I just want to live in it now,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Listen to them. And I'm not judgmental of the sisters in the nation. I like to know what makes you tick. I want to know how can I support the sisters? That's all I want to be, is a support system to them. And so listening to them and giving them a voice and I think that is really helpful. And I ask Allah all the time to make me be someone that listen to the women of the world and help me find things that will help us heal. Because sometimes getting us away from the mass helps us to heal.
Yes, ma'am.
And I love your show because it's off the record. Really and everything I do is off the record so we can relax and really, say what we really feel.
Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you all. And Walaikum Salam, Staz Media. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to let you all know that this podcast is sponsored by my sister Miriam's book, ABC I Love Me, my brother Rashad, Politically Oppressed, and his business partner Jamal with Street Premiere if you need some video editing. And my second book, which is my children's book, is Cleopatra, and it is on Amazon. Thank you all for your support. Wonderful. I want to ask you, Brother Jabril, what has been your greatest trial in your marriage, and how did you overcome it?
Oh boy, wow, that's a question right there. I mean, my greatest trial, I think it was the first 3 years of the marriage, because I'm getting used to someone that's in my space now, as opposed to being a bachelor. Because now I said I love you, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But now there's not only a mental transition that you got to make, but it's an emotional one, it's a psychological one, a financial one. Because now, you know, I was so used to having things myself, I had to start letting go and stop being. I really wasn't egotistical or selfish, but you know how bad life is.
Yes, sir.
You to go your way. I'm the youngest of 14 children, so I was kind of spoiled. And so I think the hardest trial for me was to let go of things, to share with my newfound family, because Josh, it was an instant family like that, you know.
Yes, sir.
I had to adapt. I had to struggle from within, because this is something new. But I said that I love, and I was willing to overcome those little petty emotions and feelings that I was dealing with from being a bachelor and now being married. And so to overcome that, I think I had to put more God in me to deal with my wife, and accepting the things I can't change, and to accept the criticism that I was getting from my wife, because it was all good and constructive. So I had to learn that, especially on a continuous basis every day. You know, and so she's my best critic and best love. So you know, so the struggle was a little bit more easy once I started giving in to, you know, accepting this marriage, accepting this relationship, and wanting it to be better. And it has gotten really, really better. And I think this is the best relationship out of my, I guess, relationships that I've had in the past. And it wasn't a lot, maybe 4 or 5. Maybe 2 of them were serious. But this one here, Josh, oh God, man. hey, Josh, you know that show they used to have? They said big bucks and whammies. Well,
yes, sir.
Big bucks right here.
Josh. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, this is the one for me.
Praise be so loud. Okay, and Sister Shawn, what has been your greatest trial, and how did you overcome it?
My greatest trial. My greatest trial is honestly in the beginning, not thinking that I would find someone. Once I found my husband, my greatest trial for me was that him making sure that he was accepted, you know, and my husband tried his best to join, you know, I have 3 sons, so we always wanted to make sure that they were together. And to be honest with you, my son didn't know his father for a little while. My husband asked me, can he call me dad? And that was a trial for me, because I was afraid and I didn't know how it would go. And it took me about 6 months, and I said yes. And he never showed them any difference. But in the beginning, when he asked me can he call me dad? And I said yes. But, you know, that was a trial for me, because eventually we had to tell him who his real father was. You know, we prayed about it. We asked Allah to give us the right words in the right time. And so when he did tell him, we did tell him, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I had all these preconceived notions about how it was going to be. But he really thanked my husband for taking that place at the time. But what Jabril and I do, uh, every 6 months, we assess things. We assess where we've been, where we're going, how we got here, what we can do different. I think that's probably not what you asked me, but I was thinking about what keeps our marriage going, what keeps it healthy. Assessment is very good. We for a long time now, we disagree. We may argue a little bit, but we do not argue with a threat anymore. Like, I'm going, I'll leave you, whatever, all the things. We already know we're not going anywhere. Deal with one another. Now we just straight up deal with one another. I didn't like it. Well, I'll do better. Love will help you. You will change if you really love someone. Change is good, but love will make you either say, I'm going to get myself together, or my significant other or my wife did not like a certain, my husband don't like, and if I really feel like I offend them, I'm going to change about certain things. So honest conversations, real conversation. And what we don't do anymore is, we in the morning, say we in the morning and we got to go in an hour or two, and you get up, you're on your phone, you're on the TV. Yes, but now we use our time real wise with one another. We don't get on the phone. We don't be on, looking at TV, doing other things. When we have one another time, we give each other quality time. And we don't, because we don't know when we leave one another that we come back and see one another that day. Yes, so ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's just that as you evolve in your relationship, you have to spend each, and you may not have a lot of time to spend one another, but make sure it's quality time that you spend. And then those are times that we make memories, we laugh about things, and here we go, those corny jokes again. But it has been, even my sons, I look at them and I'm so grateful and thankful for my husband. I tell Allah all the time that I thank you for this man, because even in his own trials, his sons is so grateful for dad, and they always said, that he's their greatest hero. And for your sons to say that now, wow, something you did right. Even when as mom, I see up our trials, but my sons really say that dad is their hero. I thank Allah so much for him, So that's something that helps us. Last week we had honored our husbands. Yes, that's something I have not seen in the nation in a long time. So I said, let's create a platform so that anybody see this would be pleased, and they'll see that we're trying. So we set the stage, and we didn't make it complicated. We didn't bring the brothers and start asking, what did you think of? So we fed them, we talked to them, we told them how much we love them. And then the flow of the conversation just started going, and I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, I can see this even bigger next year. So it's just, you have to start honest with one another, honest conversation, true feelings, telling them each other your true feelings. I get that
all the time.
And right or wrong, I owe you the truth. Yeah. My true feelings. So I'm through. I'm all off. I'm sorry.
No, that was amazing. No, that was amazing. And thank you all for watching. My sister Mimi says you are inspiring. Another person said, sister said beautiful. Brother Daniel, alaikum salam, sir. I wanted to ask you, Brother Jabril, when you were when the wives were honoring you all, how did that make you feel?
Oh man, Josh, it made me feel like a king. It really, it made me feel that, I don't have enough words, Josh, or superlative to describe that particular day. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know what was going on. And when we got there, I wasn't apprehensive about being with my family, my extended family. In fact, I was thrilled. But what they did and how they set everything up, and the honor and the tribute that they gave us, that was so special to me. And it just made me feel that, I can struggle even more now. I want to do more now, and I want to be with believers now, and I want to have this family amongst the believers, that it is so tight that we know one another. and we in this struggle together, because that gave me a little bit more momentum, a little bit more strength, and it kind of gave me a stronger will to say, I know that I'm in doing the right thing with my nation, with my people. And so now the struggle, it's really worthwhile.
Mm.
And I really believe the minister would be pleased to, to know that we're trying.
Yes, ma'am.
Feel like, and sometimes I think about, you don't have to have permission to do nothing good.
That's right.
So
That's right.
just got together, we put our heads together, we created a theme. We made it a Caribbean theme, so people, they thought they was coming probably to dance a little bit.
Oh, so it was a surprise. It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. So they knew they were coming somewhere. They knew they was coming with believers, but they didn't know that they would get a chance to talk. And we honored them, and we talked to them, and just, oh my God, everybody just started pouring out their heart. I was so overwhelmed because I was nervous. I did not quite know how it was going to go, because there was one couple of times we've opened up to sisters, and we asked certain conversations, and it went a totally different direction. So, sometimes things you can open up and things go in a different direction, but it was all good, man.
Yeah, Josh, I thought that we was gonna do a little stepping, so I had my dancing shoes on just in case, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course.
I was gonna throw down.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how I release pressure, and stress. I love to dance. Sometimes I help teach to dance, and it's such a therapeutic type of dance. And it's relaxing, it's energizing, it's very classic, it's not trashy.
Yes, sir.
It's a historic dance. And me and my wife, sometimes I'll turn on the music and we'll dance in the house. And so, it's such a rewarding thing to be involved in all these activities like dancing and camping and, the outings and different things like that, because those are the things that keep you youthful and to strengthen relationships and communication.
Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Brother Jabril, what advice would you give to future husbands?
Well, you got to be prayed up, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if not, because then if you lean on your own wisdom and you're not equipped to handle this, queen, you can really have some issues and some problems that you may not be. It may be insurmountable. You know what I mean? But I think that if God, if Allah is centered in your life, and you're trying, Josh, to be right,
yes,
and
sir.
you want to be fair, and you want to deal in truth, and you want this relationship, or you want this communication to work, there's going to be outside forces that test that. And so you got to be up for the test, because if this is what you want, then you got to have the strength and the fortitude and the wherewithal and the wisdom to make it happen. No excuses. And so I think that if your heart is right, Josh, and you got God in your life, there's no problem too big that he can't solve for you.
Yes,
so
sir.
I admit, and I said to myself, it's a struggle. So do I give into the struggle, or do I run and find another struggle, and then I can't deal with that, and I run and find another one, I can't deal with that, and before you know it, I'm a womanizer, or I'm chasing women.
Yes, sir.
I don't see my life like that. So I want to give into this cause, and I want to make it happen. And no matter the frustration level or the difficulty factor, I'm just in it to win it. And that's what we have. We have to have that wherewithal and that thought to say, hey, look, I know I'm going to have some obstacles come my way, but it's all a test. And some tests you're going to fail, but if you learn and you take that test again, because they're going to keep on repeating itself. And then you're more equipped to pass that test again when that argument or when that confrontation comes up. You know what I mean? So you've learned from your past, hopefully, and that'll help you overcome any other future problems that you may have.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And Sister Shawn, what advice would you give to future wives?
Advice. What I would say is begin to pray with your husband. Sit down and pray on your knees together. Talk out loud to the God.
Yes, ma'am.
Let your husband know what you pray for him for. You know, these are communications too. And you're both talking to the God, which means you're both talking to the God within. So me and Jabril, I don't have a whole lot to say because I said, but praying together, assessment is very good. Spending quality time together. If you can be audited, if you have a lot of issues, if both have brought a lot of issues to a marriage, seek out help. Get audited. See a psychiatrist. Some people really think that seeing a psychiatrist is bad. I think it's really, really good, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially if you know you had trauma in your life before you got, but you still want to be with someone. So once again, you bring trauma to the marriage. So seek help. You know, stay. True feelings. Tell each other your true feelings, and watch and see if this person is for you. Sometimes you tell people the truth, and they start getting away from you.
Yes, ma'am.
So
yes, ma'am.
you test people. I've tested my husband a lot of times, to see, if he really cares. Brother Josh, he making a pot of coffee, and I'm testing him because our conversation. I say things, and I'll share my secrets with him, and then I wonder how he handles them, and he always has supported me. He always wants the best for me. He always say how much it costs. Go do it. Be with the sisterhood, because he really realized that the sisterhood helped to develop me. I learned to be a woman on my own. Takes another woman to stand in front of me who's a God-fearing woman. That attracts me. So my example, I ask the God to illuminate me so I can attract what I want. Because see, I'm trying to build the heaven I want to live in.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, if you prayed up, the God's gonna bring that your energy. You're gonna pull on the people that needs to be around you, and then you create a support system. Anything I do, I pray about it. Then I get on the prayer campaign. I started looking for people who I can bring that will help me, even if they don't know it's a problem that I may be having with my husband. But I like to talk to married women. I don't ask my single sisters about advice for my married couples, and I choose to find married couples who trying to hold on. Some people just together because we got so much together, and we just together. I'm so grateful that I'm with someone that I still want to be with. Everybody grown, nobody's in our way. So now redefining what our love is. Do I really love you? Oh my God, we're on another whole level of marriage, of understanding. We rekindle things. It's just so much, and it's like we're starting all over again in a way, because we have nobody to hold us back. When you're married, you got children, you have a disagreement. Oh, shoot, let my children be there. Or if they wasn't here, I wouldn't be with you. Just certain things that hold you back and say you hold on for the sake of that. But now we have nothing that holds us but each other. So we want to be together. So that is a blessing for me, and it has eased my burdens with my husband. I don't have the burdens that I had years ago. I've had so much ease in my marriage because I have been a faithful wife.
And Josh, that's why I'm taking on this cruise ship for a whole week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that was
30 years, Josh.
So. Yes, sir. Okay, well, brother Jabril, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Say it again.
What advice would you give to future fathers?
Oh, again, Josh, I think that you have to somehow get God in your life, because if you want children, your children gonna deviate because they're gonna do their own thing. But if you put that love and put that respect and and put that knowledge in them when they're little, even though they may falter sometimes, because we all make mistakes. We're human beings.
Yes, sir.
But I think, being a father, you got to have that foresight to see down the road what my child could be capable of doing. And if it's good karma that you're developing in the relationship with your son or with your daughter, and you're there for not only moral support, and psychological and emotional support, but you got to be there as a friend too, because you don't want to be so quick to chastise your child for every little thing, because then that kind of shuts the door and prevent them in the future of disclosing, much more serious things to you in the future. So
Yes,
it's a very delicate act that you got to have in terms of trying to be a proper father. There's no books on it. Every child is different, Josh. But I think what has to remain the same is that you have to have this love of righteousness and God, and have all of that in you, so that you can try to administer the proper communication. And even fathers have to be humble too, because if you're humble that way, your child will open up even more, and you get more of an understanding and more of a communication, and that kind of takes you a little bit farther in your relationship with your child, and that'll have an impact on that child. Because sometimes when I talk to Raheem them, I stopped whooping Raheem them when they were like 8 or 9 years old, man. Because at that point, if I can't reach you here mentally, then if you burn down the house and I beat you, what's that gonna do?
Yes,
Damn house still burned down.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
it's that communication that's so vital that you gotta have, and they have to be consistent. So I had sons, Josh. Each one of them was on a baseball team, different teams. So I left one game, going to another game. Left that game, going to another game. So it's this constant involvement and participation in a child's development that you got to be there, like I said, both mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, and you can't be selfish about it. So at this point, it's not so much about me anymore. It's about them. What can I do for them? How can I help them? Because that's my legacy. And I live for that moment to try to help and be the best that I can be, given what what has been bestowed upon me.
Okay, wonderful, sir. And Sister Shawn, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Future mothers. What when I became a mother, I wanted to get it right so bad until I got it wrong. Because I was so tried to be so strict, and so I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want that to happen, and I wanted this to happen. So I drew a lot of things, more negative things to me, because I dwelled on what I didn't want instead of learning to dwell on what I did want. When I released and relaxed and not beat myself up so much, the knowledge became to me what I really wanted, and I surrendered my old self, because I came into a new knowledge, and that once I came into the new knowledge, then I realized I have to learn how to believe in the prayers that I'm praying. Some of us, we pray traditionally. Then I said, I got to believe in these prayers. So don't beat yourself up all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Learn to use good judgment, get good advice. So, just searching for good advice, trusting that God will bring you someone, that will help.
Sorry, God.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And thank you all for watching. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Thank you all for having us, John.
Yes, ma'am.
Humble by Josh, and I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to say, Josh, to you is that you've always been a very intellectual young man. You're handsome. You know, you've always had something on the ball. And I want Allah to really bless you and take you where you want to go in life, because you have that and you deserve that. And so whatever you set your heart to, I know it's going to be right. And I know that the God will fulfill your dreams and your wishes. So keep doing, man, because I'm so proud of you. I'm going to start telling people, hey, man, y'all got to watch my son. Wow.
I want
So
to
I
say,
love
Josh,
you, man.
and I want
Thank
to
you,
say,
Olivia.
Josh, I'm sorry to cut you. Josh, I
She do that a
know
lot.
that you are making your mom proud.
Oh, yeah.
You make me
Okay.
proud.
I'm proud, man.
You're doing something for the nation that I've never seen. So
Yeah.
you're an asset creating platforms.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is going to go so far for you.
Yeah.
Your name will go down in history. Even though you start something, the ones that started is always the one that people remember. So I thank you on behalf of your mom.
Oh,
Don't forget
praise
to give your mom and dad the greetings of Assalamu alaikum from our family to yours. We love you so much, son.
and we love you more. And please tell your sons that we're very proud of them and we're proud of you all. And I'm just humbled that y'all will come on my show. That means a lot to me.
Oh man,
it means a lot to us.
Hey, you don't know what it means to me, man. Now you know what I gotta do when I see you?
What's that?
I gotta get your autograph.
Oh, no. All right. All right, but assalamu alaikum, family.
All right, Josh. Take care,
Yes, sir.
man.